I'm JP.
And this is Big Guy. This is Pack and Draw, where we open up a pack and then draw a card. Let's open the pack.
Good. Hopefully we get some good stuff here.
Oh, yeah. First pack having troubles.
Sometimes these packs are good.
Possible.
Yep.
Meltan, Mariana, Purloin, Starly, Aaron, Cigarormly, Gorlurk, Water Energy, Simisage, Simapore, and a Consquire, I think.
Okay, I can pick. Let's do something kind of fun. Let's do Meltan here. So let's get drawing. Okay, we're on to the drawing part. We have Meltan. Like usual, we have a basic sketch kind of drawn out, original pose, lightly in pencil, and kind of go forward with, adding some good marks to this. So it's a little different type of character. It almost looks like an eye. It's really just kind of a ball inside there that kind of rolls around. So it's like this molten metal with looks like some sort of cord behind them and this kind of metal shape there. So let's just kind of go with this on the outside here. Really defining those hard edges. Perspective wise, it's a little odd here because it has kind of like a strong perspective with, the angles there. So you really want to be careful it's not too wonky. But I'm going to really focus on developing one side here. So notice that when I go on the inside, I use a slightly different marker. And then, so go thick to thin, just to show the outer edge. It's kind of like a defined part, maybe a contrast with the background. I go thinner one, go in there. So you start to see that. I'm going to try to keep somewhat, it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to try to keep most of the same inline perspective with this here. So using this thicker marker, kind of went over a little bit here. Probably want to keep it closer to that. That's fine, no problem. And go there, and then we'll add this. Again, not perfect, maybe a little off there, but no worries. Could be a little rough, that's fine. And let's tackle that, let that kind of dry out and tackle the circle part later. Let's go, since we're kind of here, let's focus with this. I think this is probably one of the most interesting parts. It's kind of like cord tail or whatever it might be on the outside. Notice it kind of like where it bends, it slightly goes over. Really kind of exaggerated this part here since I thought it was a little bit more interesting. I'll make the shadows underneath a little thicker. So it just looked, as these extensions. So yeah, here we have it so far. Nice kind of tail. Now, the really difficult parts could be kind of like the body here. So what I'm going to do is use this kind of medium marker with the body, because it's kind of like this liquid metal. Kind of like be intentional about establishing these curves. I'm going to save the thicker marker. And this is great if we kind of like mess up, but you can kind of see it's almost like a sack of flour. It's almost like raising its hand. And I have some background elements here, actually a background line, like a horizon line. Actually, I'll go back here. I'll use this instead. So I'm going to save the thick, so like I said, I was going to save the thicker marker for more kind of like the inner shades, because this is kind of like molten body. And I'll do that now here. And it's going to look kind of weird because it really depends like where the sun's coming. So I can almost like add shade coming off there. Actually, I might do that now. since I have that might indicate like some shade coming this way. I could always fill in if I want. And then here with the body, you know, I can start establishing like this really thicker part, really playing up that, you know, the reflection or the depth in there. It's kind of like chunky, so some of the parts might not make as much sense. But as long as we kind of like get the different curves, playing up those, and I don't even mind kind of ending them roughly. Same with this up here, curve. Almost kind of squaring it off. Again, you want to be intentional and kind of really confident with that. You can kind of see, you know, again, I'm always worried about with these type of characters, you're overworking, but you don't want to do too much cross hatching or kind of detail lines, since it's more kind of a molten body type of shape. And then very subtle with, you know, maybe some other lines that kind of establish some body parts. That's probably even too much, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, I'm enjoying that. I think that's working there. You know, kind of got that molten body. I always kind of like to add the lines, kind of like where it's standing and so forth. Just to show this is slightly different texture. Add some very subtle parts to it. Kind of like subtle little lines there just to show it's slightly different. I'm not a big fan of having these be even, but kind of small detail. So I'll make sure everything's in frame. So I will use this here to, you know, again, is it going to be a perfect circle? Probably not. But you just want to be quick about it. And then try to save it with this kind of inner part here. And not bad, not bad. I thought it was going to actually be a lot worse. And then I'll use this here. This is going to kind of be the glare part. You always, you know, maybe I shifted over to the right a little bit more. Probably wanted to use the thinner marker for the inner part here. But I could always make the outer edge a tiny bit thicker. So again, you got a little marker here, no big deal. There you go. Yeah, it's come along nicely. Let's let some of these parts kind of dry a little bit. And let's fill this in. Let me add a quick shade element to it. Just in case. So if the light's coming on this way, maybe I'm probably gonna fill that in, but just in case, I wanted to see how it looked. That's not too bad. I think if this outside line was a little thinner, it probably would have worked better. But I think I'm just gonna fill it in. And I will thicken this outside shape up and just kind of finish out. Actually, sorry, I keep changing markers the way it goes. Okay, so that's it. Meltan, kind of like raising its arm, moving, got some shading in there, got some of its molten body. I thought that would be kind of tricky. Really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys did too. Again, share it with someone that you think might enjoy. Like the video, subscribe, do what you need to do. Thank you so much. Take care.